If you're a directory developer that hates cleaning data, this is the perfect tool for you. In this video, I'm going to be covering the highlights of this program that is designed to ensure that your data is the best quality possible while also ensuring that you have maximum geographic coverage. In today's example, I'm going to be using a 9,000 plus row dataset of hiking trails. So to start off with, how do we identify duplicate rows that are referring to the same trail? We're going to head over to clusters and we're going to click run clustering analysis. I'm going to set the intensity to the highest to help get the most clear matches. And I'm going to set some of the common words found in this data set, such as hiking, trails, trailhead, etc. Right away, we can see that we found 69 clusters in the first 2,000 rows of data. Now looking at cluster 3, I could see how long could be a very common trail name. So if I want to get a little confirmation that these are related, I can come over to data map. And then I'm going to map the data to see if they're close by. And we can see that these are in 3 different states, so it's safe to keep each trail location. But this is a really large data set and I don't want to check every single cluster. So I'm going to come up to delete clusters and I'm going to delete all but one row per cluster. And the row that I keep is going to be the one that has the most number of reviews. And so now we can move on to the next batch. Now that you know how to identify duplicates, you probably want to know how to identify data that is not referring to a hiking trail. So we're going to come over to flag data and we're going to select the column that we want to check. So I'm going to check the name column and we're going to check for things that are probably not a hiking trail, such as restaurants, roads, ponds. But what about situations where you have a trail name called Pond Road Hiking Trail? If it includes the word hiking, trail, or trailhead, it's probably a hiking trail. So adding these protected words makes it so even if the name includes one of these flagged words, it will no longer be flagged. Once you have your flagged and protected words, you can then view all of the flagged rows in your dataset. And since this is a lot to look at, I'm going to limit the columns to only see what I actually care about. So now I can easily see what rows were flagged and the reason why they were flagged. If I don't want to look through every single one of these, and I think it's a safe assumption that Vallejo Stairs are probably just a city street, that Clark Road Bridge is just a bridge, that Ballard Pond doesn't have trails, and that it's just a fishing pond, then I can select all and I can delete rows. Some of our rows of data have a lot of reviews, whereas others not so much. If you don't want to risk leaving very large areas on the map without any data coverage, because maybe in Butler, Oklahoma, there's nobody here to give reviews to these hiking trails, but they're still very good trails, and you don't want to lose them just because of the low population of that area, you can use don't delete the last one nearby to say, hey, if it has less than 10 reviews, I want you to delete it unless it's going to leave less than 3 pieces of data within a 10-mile radius. Now we can see that 880 pieces of data are going to be deleted because they had less than 10 reviews, but 2,310 who also did not have 10 reviews or more are going to be kept because it would leave less than 3 hiking trails within a 10-mile radius per that area, and we can see that almost 6,000 trails met this requirement. And if you want to get a visual idea of where they're at, then you can see it on the deletion map. And finally, as you're enhancing your data, maybe there's more information that you want to have that combines information in your columns. To do that, you can just right-click the column that you want to have the information and select Populate Data. And then you can type in the text that you want. And you can select columns that you want to pull data from. So in this case, I'll pull data from the name column. And you can see a preview over here as you add more data. And so now when we click Populate Data in Directions, we can see that each row will say the hiking trail name is at and its full address. After watching this tutorial, if there are any features you think that are missing, then you can reach out to me at support@directory-dynamics.com and I'll look into adding them to make your data cleaning experience even easier.